It's no surprise that water and water features are some of my favorite things to not only discover, but to also enjoy cooling off in. Well, back in 2021, I made an epic discovery of what I called the secret hidden oasis, an area that was too beautiful not to return back to. I made multiple trips back to not only document the area, but to snorkel the water to see what's beneath the surface. In this video, we're going to take my 3 adventures there and put them together to make this one continuously long adventure. If you haven't seen this location, you're going to be in for quite a treat. So without wasting more time, come along with me. So I just came upon something rather beautiful. We're not at our destination yet, but it's just too beautiful to pass up. I'm going to try to get down there, but there is some nice flowing rapids, and if you kind of peek between the trees here and the branches, there is a really nice looking swimming hole. And I'm standing on a mound of super squishy nature's carpet. This is like a whole nother world down here. Wow. Yeah, this is definitely a spot for people. Sadly, there is trash down here, but we're gonna look past that and look at nature itself. Got a large pipe down here. This area is definitely rather, I guess the lack of a better word, reconstructed. It looks like they did excavate some of the rock face out of there and obviously the pipe was installed. Maybe for a reservoir or something. This is such a nice area. I'm going to try to get my way across, not by the pipe, but on an easier little connecting set of rocks. I want to get up there because up there looks like a pretty significant, when I say significant, I mean deep pool of water. And depending on the clarity, I do have my super long selfie stick. Maybe we'll get some underwater footage. So I'm going to see if they get across, and I'll see you guys somewhere over there. It's actually at least 3 or 4 feet deep there too. All right, we're safely across, and looks like it was dammed up here too. Now, when I first called you guys over to look at it, we were up on top of there. So you can see the opposite view. And yes, this is, wow. Deep, crystal clear water. There's even like a section of pipe right there. Big rock in the middle, but it goes down probably over my head. I'm trying to see the best vantage point. There's a big rock laying there, which you may or may not be able to see. There's a little shoreline, and then it gets kind of steep over there. And there's even like a flowing water slide over there too. I'm going to try to make my way over here. That looks like the closest vantage point, and we'll get some better clarity around the bend, and we'll take a look at it. And I think we'll at least, for the moment, dip you guys underwater when we get over there. All right, now I'm going to show you something. I don't want you to make it too obvious that you're looking at it, because it's looking back at us, but I did spot this. Don't stare at it too long. Don't want to make them uncomfortable. We made it over here though, and this is a really gorgeous spot. I am blown away. Even right here, we're looking at 3 to 4 feet deep, and there's a drop off there. And here's the size of that rock. I'm actually going to give you some size perspective in just a moment to show you how big that is compared to me. That is huge. It may have fell from up there where we were earlier. But this is like a little oasis. It's just nestled down here in a valley. Straight across, we got some flowing rapids and waterfall slides. I would love to return in the future to do some snorkeling here. Places like this are just too hard to pass up, and they're harder and harder to find. I mean, unless you're a local or have someone to share the information with you, these places are not really advertised. And this is really something else. I'm absolutely in love with the place. Stumbling on my words because I'm trying to think of the words to use. All right, enough of me yapping. We're going to get you guys underwater here and give you a glimpse as to how it looks under the surface. And the reason I'm back here is because many of you have stated that you'd like me to return to the secret hidden oasis to do a snorkeling adventure. And that's what we're doing today. So I'm down here in the same area that I was at before when I went searching for the mystery item on Google Maps and stumbled upon that secret oasis, that swimming hole. And we got a nice warm summer day. I brought my friend RJ with me, and we're gonna get over there, get in the water, get some more underwater footage. And I also brought my drone with me, so we'll get some aerial footage as well. And it looks like people have been here since I was here. I see some things moved around. This pipe is wet. It's probably maybe from condensation. It's probably water flowing through it. It's so hot out. I want to walk on it. So there is a nice flowing little slide back there. Now the water is clear right here, but kind of cloudy in the center. I don't know why, because we haven't had rain in a few days. I was hoping it was going to be clearer than last time, but it's actually more cloudy. It's not going to deter me though from going in. The other thing I want to point out too is in my recent video where I went searching for the Google Maps item and found this location, many people commented saying that the water may be unsafe due to the mining activity around here. And that very well could be true, but I was able to pinpoint the source of this water. This is actually coming further up the mountain, and I'm going to be going to that location in a future video. So you will be able to see the source of this, but I can confirm it's not contaminated water. Now the ponds that we saw, that's a whole nother story. I'm not going to be going swimming in those. But this is pretty safe water, and I know that a few people who watch the video are locals. They do know this place. They come here swimming as well. And as far as I know, they haven't grown any extra arms or legs or two heads. So I think it's pretty safe to go swimming in. I'm not going to drink it, of course, but I do have some flashlights. I have some swimming gear, snorkel goggles, even my detector, and of course the drone. So we're going to get set up here and get in the secret hidden lagoon and hopefully see some pretty neat underwater wildlife or something else. All right, so here's what I brought with me. I do have my Pi King underwater metal detector, which I may or may not use. I do have my snorkel and goggle and my action camera, and of course the drone, which you already saw. Now, I have a couple thoughts about what I'm seeing here. So I definitely want to get in the water. I actually already did for the drone footage, but it's extremely cloudy. I'm actually like kind of disappointed because I was hoping for much clearer conditions, or at least as clear as last time. And there is just a haziness in the water. I don't know how else to explain it. And it's really unfortunate because we haven't had any significant rain in the last few days. So if anything, like that happened, it would have cleared up by now. And when the sun shines, I could see certain parts like those rocks there, but I can't really see anything else. It's just a bluish, greenish tint. But I'm still going to get in the water. I'm still going to investigate. But I think I may not snorkel, at least today, because I don't know how much I'm going to be able to see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around the edge of the perimeter in the water, and I'll bring the action camera and we'll stick it under at certain points and see some different parts of the water of the I don't know, you want to call it lagoon, oasis, whatever it is, but I'm staying in the water right now. I'm already wet. The water is not terribly cold. It's cold, but not overly cold. So what my plan is I'm going to come back again in the future, and I do know an easier way to get back here now, so it's not that much of a trek. And I do have a vehicle of sorts that could take me back here much quicker. So I'm going to come back here periodically, and when the conditions are right, 100% I'm going to snorkel it and maybe do the underwater metal detecting, because people said they saw shimmering things on the rocks, like maybe gold flakes. I know we saw fish last time, and I don't know what else is in the rest of the water. And even when I do stick the camera underwater, I don't know how much we're going to see. It might just be, you know, blurry and cloudy. But since we're here, we're going to make the best of it. So I'm going to get to my action camera, get that ready to go, and we're going to basically walk around here, and I'll stick it under the water at various points. But more importantly, we're going to go over there and check out that slide area, because RJ, who was over there earlier, said there's some craters and some like kind of pockets where water is just filling up. It's a pretty neat natural phenomenon that occurs with the water flow, just kind of carves out the rock. And we'll be able to see more of the pipe too, which is over there. So I'm going to get myself ready to go. So I hope you continue watching to see what else we could discover here. But at the very least, it's a gorgeous day. I have good company with me, and we're out in nature just enjoying what it has to offer. So it's a win-win regardless of if today doesn't go quite according to plan. That's freaking deep. Oh, that was deep. I'm trying to get out of here. It's a rocky, slippery slope, and I'm sliding right back in. Oh, and it drops off here really deep. Come on, Jay, you can do it. Jeez. Okay. Shit. So here's that pool of water that we saw with RJ checking out when I was flying the drone. Alright guys, now that we saw some of the underwater footage, we're going to take a walk up along the side here to check out the flowing stream there, the water slide, because there's some pretty cool features which you may or may not have already seen depending on how I do this video. And further up, RJ found a nice little surprise, so once I safely get over there, we'll continue our adventure. So here's looking from topside view. And continuing is the pipe, which comes around at a sharp bend here. And then this concrete wall as a protective barrier. But I'm going to take you guys down there in just a moment because there's some neat little features. But this pipe, I'm not surprised that it keeps going. I think I know where it goes to, which I mentioned that I'll be doing in a future video. So one thing that is kind of surprising, but also isn't at the same time, it looks like lava. That is kind of a acidic water mixed with like iron ore. It's coming from that hole right there and is flowing into the stream down there. So obviously there is some contaminants going in, but again, we're not drinking the water, we're only swimming in it. And I've heard from numerous sources, and we even saw evidence that people come here swimming all the time. So as long as you're not drinking the water, you know, and not really consuming it, there shouldn't be much of a concern. But there definitely is that stuff flowing in. Now, depending on where it's coming from, it's sometimes known as AMD, which is acid mine drainage. It also could just be a piece of iron or something that's in the rock that's just rusting. Rust would do the same thing. We got these little craters and little pools of water that have formed. This one here actually has a bunch of dead crayfish. You can see them in there. Looks like they got trapped in there and weren't able to get out. So there's at least a half a dozen of them in there. So if there's crayfish living here and fish living in the water, that should say that, you know, this water is not terribly polluted or contaminated. It's healthy enough for some wildlife So it shouldn't be much cause for concern. That rock I'm not picking up. RJ picked up before, and there's a snake under there. So I'm leaving that be. And here we are looking down the slide. Over there's my gear. It's where we started. But I do have a surprise that RJ discovered, and I want to share it with you. So I'm going to take a truck up here, and I'll show you what it is once we arrive. Another little pool of water here. It's kind of stagnant until it rains again. And following up the creek side, got a hidden Mickey right there. 2 more craters. And you do see some footprints. That's because we were up here just a little bit ago. So I want to bring you up with this camera. And the pipe is still flowing. It is sweating, so there is water going through it. But up here is another hidden swimming hole. And this one's really neat. It doesn't look all that impressive, but I'm gonna roll some footage. It goes to nearly over your head, if not over your head, in the center. And it's kind of just a solid bedrock base with some crevices that allow you to get in deeper in the center. But there is a rocky outcrop that comes out a few feet in the center. It just drops right down. This is another hole that I would like to return to when the water does clear up. And this is above that orange drainage, so this should be relatively cleaner water. But I'm gonna walk out here just to show you. Yeah, so I am essentially standing on the rock, and it drops off. So it's about 6 feet, 6.5 feet deep, right there. That's a beautiful little hole here. Right here, let's see. It's over my head. Yeah, that's amazing. You guys remember this place, right? This is the secret hidden oasis. And I'm back yet again. And as you can see, the conditions are very favorable. This is the clearest I've ever seen it. And that means we need to go do some snorkeling and get a better shot underwater. We know there's some fish in here and we don't know what else, but I can see right to the bottom in the deepest part. And I have my snorkeling gear and perfect conditions. All right, guys, I'm all ready. Let's go.
I've been deeper, but I have to stay afloat. It's not easy. Be a person you don't want. Can somebody take me other thing? Going to do. Where's the life I? Where's my shot? Who is this called living? I don't know. Where's the life I? Where's my shot? Who is this called living? I don't know. I don't wanna grow. Just live myself. I don't wanna grow. The things I left behind me. I don't wanna grow. Just live myself. I don't wanna grow. The things I left behind me.
It's back there.
Just live behind me. Just live behind me. Look behind me. Look behind. Look behind. Look behind. Where's the life I? Where's my shot? Who is this called living?
Now, last time I was here with RJ doing some underwater investigating, I didn't have the snorkels, but watching the footage back, I saw what appeared to be a ring, like a men's ring on a rock down there, and it's somewhere closer to that side. I'm gonna really take my time and look, see if I can find it. If I could, I'm gonna swim down and get it.
Also, sorry, go ahead. Also, last time I didn't have the water to do that.
So he's got himself a new toy. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find that ring. Hopefully we can find it and get it up to the surface and check it out. But overall though, this is incredible. It's really, really clear. There's a big crater down here that we saw, and there's some fish down there, so I'm glad we returned when we did, because this is by far the best conditions ever. And in a upcoming video, what the hell is that?
A rock. I just kicked the rock.
I felt that. In the upcoming video, we're going to be going upstream to see what else we can find between here and the water source higher up in the mountain. So make sure you stay tuned for that video. So last time I was here, when I just stuck the camera underwater, because it was real cloudy and murky, somewhere in this area I did see a penny and a ring. I even pointed out on video, freeze framing it, showing it. But today, I've searched and searched and searched, I can't find it. Not to say it's not there, I think maybe it either shifted a little bit from maybe somebody swimming here, or maybe somebody grabbed it, but I think it's more likely that it just moved from the water or someone stepping in it. But with that being said though, we had such a great time here, and this water is phenomenal. It's not that cold. We could see right to the bottom, and there's some areas that are at least 10 feet deep. And the unique thing that I pointed out to RJ is that there's some craters underwater that go down even deeper, some big holes, maybe about 3-4 feet in diameter, that kind of just go into the bedrock. So it makes for some pretty interesting geological features. And we saw plenty of fish. There's one dead fish down there, but I saw at least 2 or 3 fish that were close to a foot long, and the rest were either like 6 inches or smaller. And there's also some like pools of little guppies. But man, the Oasis did not disappoint. I'm so glad I got back here and was able to do this. I didn't find the ring, but that's okay. This is still a really great way to spend part of our day. So there you have it, one continuously long adventure to my discovery of the secret hidden oasis, one of my favorite places I've not only ever discovered, but I enjoyed returning to time and time again to explore the area and snorkel those waters to see what was beneath the surface. Now, if you want to see each of those videos in its entirety, they will all be linked down below in the description. Otherwise, feel free to share your comments down below. And lastly, thanks so much for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next video.